test it and see. Hopefully, on my laptop, it's loading. It shows both streams are coming up.
There it is. Yeah, it's up now as live. So
Hmm.
we'll give it about 5 minutes and then put the music on.
Okay.
We need to leave a note and explain what we're doing.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Right, there it is. Okay. Okay, we got the link up.
Yep, got the link up. Before we get started, I'm gonna take a quick restroom break. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's see.
That was Cavatina, also known as the theme from The Deer, Stanley Myers, and played by guitarist John Williams. When we return, we'll listen to tracks from films that take us to the other side of the trench and look from the perspective of those who we once called enemies in war. We'll be right back.
Music is emotional, highly subjective. It can soothe, inspire, warm the heart, and stir the senses. Music can have a physical effect on us, so no wonder we tend to be passionate about our favorite music. You'll hear timeless music that still has the power to inspire. Sunday Baroque.
Sunday mornings at 11 on Classical Delmarva, WSCL 89.5. Delmarva Public Media.
This is Henry Ford, host of Collector's Corner, heard every week on this station. Collector's Corner features unusual and important recordings, either performances of genuine historical interest or unusual repertoire that I believe you will enjoy discovering. Discovery is the key word for Collector's Corner. It is my hope that the program includes a rewarding voyage of discovery for you.
Tuesday evenings at 7 on WSCL 89.5. From Delmarva Public Media and 7 to 10. I'm Dave Hartman.
Well, hi everybody. We did not intend to go live like this, but for some reason, YouTube was not showing a link. So we figured the only thing to do was to get the live up so that you could find us. So here we are. We're going to kind of be in the background for a few minutes till Dina gets back, and then we'll play our opening song and we'll begin our show. Wonderful questions. Delighted to see all the new folks here. That's really nice. We somehow hit another part of the algorithm, I guess. But happy to have you all. I love gardening. I have a
Me
hard time
too.
doing it because I can't
Yeah.
move around as much as I would like to. I just got back from the supermarket where I had to sit down twice. Um, I'm better, but I'm struggling. So hopefully I can continue to exercise and be able to overcome the struggle somewhat. NC
Hopefully.
Pleco Cavers, look at that. I like the t-shirt.
Yeah, thanks. NC sent it to me. It's so weird wearing a t-shirt. I'm used to wearing baggy hoodies. It feels so
I
strange
know,
wearing a
yeah.
t-shirt.
Yeah, looks good on you.
Thanks.
Makes you, shows your girlish figure.
Right.
Nice. All right. How about let me get over here. Let's do our thing here. How about we get
Sounds like a plan.
Little fishes as they swim about their home. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I have traveled the world over, but never found a peace that comes from watching my fishes as they swim about their home. My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone while these fishies are in my home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Heidi. Nice to be with you. A little glitchy. Getting, we're here now. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to be brushing my beard. That's a weird thing. A weird here. I'm horribly weird. And I'm here and weird. And my buddy here is also here. She's not weird at all.
Hey,
Where'd she
everybody.
go? Ah, there she is. Gracious. Wearing your new NC Pleco Cavers t-shirt.
Yep.
Haven't
He
seen
said
you in the t-shirt.
it.
Lord.
Right? Usually I like to wear baggy hoodies. And when he sent me
Yeah,
this and
somebody
asked me
said,
to wear it, I'm like, yeah, I'll wear it.
yeah, Matthew said that I lost you. He said, where's Dina?
I'm back.
I
I got
like
found.
it. I like it. I like it. Look at all the new folks in. Goodness.
No, a lot of new folks tonight.
This is, well, there's Shiko Sakai. There's a bunch of Katie Floors. There's Big Canva. Some Canvas. Some have been here, but not for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Katie Floors I did. Luis Ortiz, Rat. Carlos Sevelasia. Bunch of new people. Came in right
Yeah.
at the beginning. DJ Dynamite, Pro DJ and MC out of Miami. SML Samuel. Bunch of new people. Psycho Plant Lady. There's a good one. Now that's an old one.
I've got a
Lori,
lot of new people.
I know. Something weird happened to the algorithm. The algorithm has been very weird lately.
It has.
Uh, it really has been strange. Um, Ryan did a video on the weather, actually, on the natural seasons occurring in nature, without getting into a discussion about how to achieve that in the fish tank. That video will be posted tomorrow.
Oh, that's
But I
exciting.
posted this last week, early in the week. It's been up for, I think, 8 days. It's getting 5,000 views every day,
Wow.
and has been since about day 4.
That's impressive.
Now, as we've looked into this, we've discovered that 99% of them are in India.
Wow.
Really, it
That's cool.
and it's not people who have had any contact with us. It's simply popping up on the Indian search engine
Wow.
in very large numbers, sufficient that, well, let's see, the click through rate is 5%. So 5,000 is 5% of 100,000, right? So it's being put up in India at the rate of 100,000 a day. A
That's
hundred
impressive.
thousand a day.
Wow.
I've only had now. I have another video. The cleaning video is similar to this, in respect that it has been up for a year and a half, and every day of that year and a half, with the exception of the first 5 days, it has hit a minimum of 2,000 views a day, at a click-through rate of about 6%. So that's about 50,000 that YouTube has put up on its algorithm every single day for that video. What they have in common is that both of them at a given point in time, the non-members exceeded the members in viewers. And the minute that line was crossed, it just went through the roof. I have no other video in which that condition has prevailed. There's no other video in which there are more new viewers watching than members or old viewers, except for those two. And the minute that happened, they absolutely exploded. So those YouTubers who are saying, I see 90% of the people out there are not subscribed to my channel. Count your blessings, guys. You don't know how well off you are.
Mhm.
So I don't know how to achieve that. No idea how to actually make that happen. But boy, if I ever figure it out, we're
That'd
going
be
to
good.
we'll be at a million
Right?
subs in a month. It's I've got so many videos I would love to remaster and be able to get into that kind of format. That would be purely amazing.
That it would be. That it would be.
Let's see. Budget Bonsai says, happy to have my third Father Fish type aquarium running today. Better late than never. You're not late. You're not late at all. You're ahead of the curve.
Right?
You are on the
Mhm.
cusp of the curve. You are in the vanguard. We are the vanguard. we are leading this parade, something is on my heart that I need to talk about. And I don't want to talk about it. It's very difficult to talk about. Um, but I feel like it really needs to be addressed. Um, there have been and remain to this day um, people on YouTube who are very bitter about this channel. They're angry about it. They consider it somehow immoral or it deeply deeply dangerous or some such thing. They consider me personally to be a uniquely bad person. It's difficult to know how to deal with that. I made a comment recently. Someone said, "You keep saying the same thing over and over again. Nice to hear your voice, but God, I get tired of hearing the same lecture all the time." And my response was, if you had actually implemented what I'm talking about, the lecture would be an affirmation rather than an admonition. And I think that's part of it. I think the people, now there are some exceptions. Um, and I believe one of the exceptions that we're seeing right now is a channel that has struggled to gain traction and is now gaining a little traction by posing itself as an alternative to Father Fish. And I think that's a good thing. Yeah, minus the personal attacks, which are uncalled for and wholly unnecessary. I applaud anyone who is proposing and providing alternative approaches to the natural aquarium. Or if they have given up on the notion of a natural aquarium, at least one that attempts to allow an aquarium to exist without substantial intervention on a routine basis. I would refer to that as a natural aquarium. So I guess what I want to say is I have no hard feelings about this, and I really don't. I know where my heart is, and I know where my efforts are, and I know what I'm doing, and I know that it is good to do. And I know that because of so many who have affirmed this, that literally thousands have affirmed what we're doing and have told me, as is the case already twice here in the comments, that this approach has given them new joy and new hope in their hobby. So I guess, you know, whiners are going to be whiners.
Right? That's
You know,
about it.
one of the things I've noticed is that, and it's come home politically more clearly than probably in any other way, is the people who are making the most outlandish, assaultive claims, claiming that others are criminal or that they are destroying the people, are themselves guilty of what they're calling out. That's the real issue, is bringing this full circle so that those who are lost in their misery can begin to see that escaping from that means affirming something, something worthwhile, something meaningful, something that blesses others, rather than simply throwing stones at glass houses. So enough of all of that. Let's. Christian B says it's not a dream. Oh, you said that, and you don't need to wake up. Really? What else we got here? Budget bonsai. Um, we got a lot of comments here by Psycho
Yeah,
Plantlin. I don't know. Ah, Dynamite. Thank you for saving my fish tank and making my fish tank healthy. Well, thank you, DJ, but you did that. I didn't do that. You took some ideas and you applied them in a way that works for you, that has made a difference in your hobby. So God bless you. Delighted to have it. Let's see what else.
Beachy
Gardening.
Campus has a really good question.
Yeah. Oh, do you mind talking about the distance? Um, yeah, same as any other fish. I feed, actually, we feed once a day. I keep trying to get my staff to feed twice a day, but they get busy with other things. But we have Brenda comes in early in the morning, about 6 o'clock, and one of her morning chores is to go around and feed all the fish, look in all the tanks, and make sure everything is copacetic. And then by the time Corey gets there around 8 o'clock, he's giving everything a second look, and providing special food or special care for those fish that need such care. So I didn't want to know if I enjoy gardening. I do. As a rat, do you like to do any gardening? I have not, however, for a while. I can't get up and down. I've kind of lost the ability to do that, which makes it really impossible to garden.
I've got
So,
something that might help you out there, Father Fish. They make raised beds that are this tall so that you don't have to get on the ground. You can just fill them up with dirt and stand and garden.
yeah, unfortunately, I'm renting, and my
Oh
land
gosh,
my
yeah.
landlady does not want me to create. So I had a greenhouse up for a while.
Oh
The
nice.
snow kind of destroyed it,
I know how
and
that goes.
she insisted I tear it down and clear it and not replace it. So I've done that. Well, my long range plan, give you an idea
Mhm.
of where we're at. My long range plan is to get the various Father Fish enterprises solid financially to the point where they're supporting existing staff, paying their bills, and creating a profit. And then I want to put that profit into a piece of property that some of my staff will be able to live on, to provide them with a nice home.
That's
So
cool.
that's the long range plan. I don't know how long it'll take to get there. I need to get a whole lot better than I am physically if I'm going to see it happen. But I think we're on the way. We're doing some really good things with our store, our online store. We have a brick and mortar store, and more people are coming in. We need to be promoting merch more than we do. That's something Dana's in charge of. and has done just a wonderful job with. So
Thank you.
want to do that. And we're also supporting Brenda's business. She is uh, a kind of a natural chemist, if you will. She
Yes,
makes
she is.
she makes remarkable salves and potions that are extraordinarily high quality, much more effective than anything you can buy. You know, this is kind of interesting. One of the things I've noticed as I've observed what she's doing and have put together the product line that we're promoting, particularly the soil, the substrates, is that the product that we're creating is so much of a higher quality than really anything else that's commercially produced. And I think the reason is once something becomes commercialized, then the emphasis is to reduce the cost of production in order to keep the price down and maximize sales. And at the same time, have a profit margin that makes it viable to be able to keep it going. The effect of all that is to reduce quality. I had a discussion with my brother this morning. He was talking about artisan bread. He cooked breakfast for me and had a beautiful loaf of bread. And he said, that's artisan. And he didn't really understand the meaning of the word because he is an artisan and he creates artisan products. He does utterly magnificent wood burning.
He
It's it,
does.
it is like nothing you've seen before. I mean, his artistry, his artistic skills are at a very high level, and he produces these wonderful pieces of art, some of which are huge. We have a few big ones in our shop, but smaller ones as well that are for sale at our website. The notion of artisan is an important distinction, and it's one that all of us are aware of, if only unconsciously. Someone who is skilled, who has developed the skills, cooks are the best example of this. To make a beautiful dish that is succulent, that is desirable, that is something that you just crave to eat, is an artisan. They're an artiste, if you will, an artist. They've created an artisan product that cannot be achieved at a commercial level. It simply can't. There are some nice commercial products, and I buy a lot of them, particularly things like tomato sauces, because that's an easy one to do really well without spending a bucket load of money, although they're all expensive. But the 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 the, the artisan cook who produces a marinara sauce that just leaves you weak in in weak in the soul for
Right?
its succulence.
Hmm.
There is something remarkable about that.
Yeah, there is.
And that's what's true of the Father Fish substrate. There's nothing like it on the market. There simply isn't. I mean, the supplement itself contains so many ingredients that would be impossible for a commercial enterprise to be able to include and still maintain any kind of decent profit margin. I mean, some of these items are extremely expensive, we don't use a lot of them. We use them as inoculants, essentially. But but by including them, we're creating something superior, something that you're not going to be able to replace anywhere else. So it just all of these things kind of struck me today, um, and I think it's a story we need to tell. I
Actually,
think we need to realize that we're doing something remarkable. We're doing something that's really wonderful. And I guess that's the answer to the naysayers. That you can badmouth us all you want, but we know what we're doing is the highest quality that is out there. There's nothing better. Find something better. And of
pretty
course,
hard. 'Cause I don't
they
think it exists.
yeah, they not only won't be able to, uh, but more importantly, they'll shut up about it because it'll be clear they really don't know what they're talking. They're just talking to be cruel, to be mean.
Right.
We try real hard not to do that. Let's see, who's this? Nadia. Hello, Nadia. Let me say this. Kalanzias. What should I do? Is there a natural way to deal with thrush that will help me get rid of it? Or is it time to reach for chemicals? Thrush. I'm not I'm not aware that thrush affects fish.
Yeah, I've never heard of it affecting fish that I know of, but
Yes, as a fungal infection.
mm,
Specific yeast species and other candida species have been isolated from diseased fish. Uh, Fungal infections cause various issues, skin lesions, internal organ, and even death. Okay. And I think of thrush in horses and other cattle. I've never thought of it, but I think it's because I really have not understood what it is. Um, Fungal infection occurs when flesh dies. If it occurs on an animal, it occurs when flesh dies. Prior to that, the death of the flesh is caused by essentially bacteria. There may be an injury that bacteria attack the open wound and begin destroying that organic material, that flesh. When they do, they create a dead, pulpy mass that is attacked by fungus. So, what we see is the fungus, and we want to treat the fungus. And you can treat the fungus, but it doesn't treat the underlying symptom, which is the bacteria that have attached the flesh. By treating that, then you're getting at the cause of the problem. So this notion that the solution uh, um, to stringy fungus is a fungicide, that may get rid of the fungus, but it's not going to get rid of the infection. And so the fungus might not come back because it's being precluded, but that'll simply create a worse rot that won't be resolved by fungus consuming it. Interesting that fungus, by feeding on dead flesh, creates edible substance,
that is interesting.
isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Mushrooms are
Mm-hmm.
edible substance. The white fungusy um, layer that we sometimes see on driftwood, for example, which is precisely that. fish will peck at it. They eat it. It's edible. Now, I rather expect that fungus growing on dead flesh is is not particularly desirable to living animals, but it certainly is to microscopic animals, the microfauna. So it feeds them, it feeds microfauna. It doesn't feed bacteria, in other words. It feeds a slightly higher order of creature. And in so doing, is creating a living environment. Now, I'm not suggesting, of course, that you should injure your fish so they get bacterial infections in order to be able to grow fungus. God forbid, and far from would never suggest such a thing. It would be a horrible, stupid idea. So don't put that one into my lexicon. I don't accept it. However, this solution to treating fungal infection is to treat the underlying bacterial infection. And if it is superficial, that means if it's on the outside of the fish, it's a very easy thing to do. You probably noticed if you've ever had a fish that has fungus, that the fungus kind of peels off. It comes off very easily. It's not really attached to the fish. It's kind of on the surface. It's superficial, and you can wipe it off with your finger or wash it off with a very light jet of water. It falls off because it's feeding on the waste product from the bacterial infection, which is at the surface. It's not, unless it's an internal infection. It's not inside the animal. It's on the surface of the animal. And of course, this will only apply to surface infections. So, as I've suggested in the past, the easiest fix for this kind of infection is neosporin or some other bactericide that you have in your medicine cabinet. They're broad spectrum antibiotics available over the counter. They're inexpensive and commonly available. Dab it on the infected spot. It will kill the bacteria and it will heal. It simply will. I had a goldfish not long ago that developed a white blotchy mess in its anal area. It was a big goldfish, one of the big orange size, beautiful goldfish, a black moor actually. And it developed this growing fast, I mean, doubling in size every day. We treated it with, I don't know, maricide or some other antibiotic ointment. And in 2 days, it was gone.
Wow.
Not only was the infection gone, but the whiteness was all gone. That was fungus growing on the bacterial waste. So that disappeared. And then the infection disappeared, and the fish was able to heal naturally. So it's really, for that kind of infection, it's very simple to take care of. Now, an internal infection is an altogether different matter. And I don't even want to get into that right now because, number one, it's extremely difficult to determine that that is, in fact, what's happening. It really requires a necropsy and a laboratory test in order to determine whether, in fact, there is an internal infection. More commonly, internal problems are parasitic, and they're dealt with pretty effectively with garlic, raw, fresh, squeezed garlic, which the fish will treat as food. Now, there are diseases, guppy disease, neon disease, that are clearly beyond the pale. They're beyond either of these treatments, um, and are not easily treated by anything. Although I found that using Maricin helps, um, if I catch it early enough and treat the whole tank with a strong enough solution. I do sell those products. I have very high quality pharmaceutical products, two primary ones, one for bacterial infection, the other for parasitic infection. Both are enormously effective. They're used by veterinarians all the time as a common treatment. I do have them available. You can find them listed in our store. They are strictly for animal use, not human use. They are not manufactured to be for human use. They're manufactured to be for animal use. So there's all that. What else is going on?
Actually, it looks like we have Jacob Wade waiting.
I see we do. Hi, Jacob. Hello,
Hey,
Jacob.
hey, how are
Hey,
you guys doing?
good.
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. I got some four of those glass catfish. There's one of them.
Oh, aren't they cool? Yeah, I've got
They are
some of
cool.
those. They are really neat.
Look how big he's
Beautiful.
getting.
He's getting pretty too. Looking good.
I got four of them, so I was told that I just gotta watch the angelfish, but I've had no issues from nothing in here.
Yeah, they look good. It all looks good.
There's one of the loaches. He's looking right here.
Hmm.
Right, I see him. Can't quite make out.
And then I got five auto cats in here.
Nice.
So I'm gonna make them a little bit bigger of an army. And then once oh, there's a keyhole. It's seen my shadow. It's back there. There it is.
Jacob, I'm gonna throw a challenge down. I know you don't want to do this, but if you will do it, you will be delighted with the result. You've got all these jungle val growing right up against the glass in the front
Right.
middle of your tank, and they're completely blocking your ability to see into the tank. They need to
Yeah.
be pulled up and replanted in the back of the tank. I challenge you to do that.
All right.
I
Yeah,
think you'll be delighted. They're beautiful plants. So you don't need to get rid of them. You can replant them and they'll do fine in the back of the tank. You've got so many pretty fish in there and a really nice tank. And it's just a shame not to be able to see it, to have to
yeah,
look through those. That now, here's the jungle fish keeper talking about controlling the jungle. But
Yeah. Here's the other one. Here's another one. They like to basically chill by themselves, but they should once they get a little older, they should start schooling, right?
that's what is that? Oh, all the way at the top.
The glass catfish.
Oh yeah, they should. Yeah,
I
he's
just put
acting a
him in.
little scared.
Just put him in yesterday.
Yeah, he's probably afraid. Uh, there's nothing in there that's going to chase him. So I think he'll be fine. They're just
See,
he's acting self-protective. He doesn't know where he is yet, so he's just
well,
trying to
that's because
avoid
all the
trouble.
environments that I basically got these guys out of, they came out of plastic environments, nothing real. And like I explained to my one friend, I think that's why they're a little etchy right now, because I put them in an actual living environment and it went back to a natural instinct, and it's just got them stressed out because that's originally where they came from. Then they put him in the store systems, and then now he's back into his actual real system, and it's just got him a little nervous till he understands that nothing's should be afraid of in there. So then he should be okay from what I'm understanding, because everything else did the same thing.
I think you're absolutely right about that.
I haven't had nothing other than that dropsy. The dropsy was the only thing that killed any fish in here, and I guess I didn't get it in time. But after that time that you told me to get them out and treat them with some live garlic, it was too late. He had already floated to the top, so I guess I'd got him too late.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something you need to catch quick while they're
Yes.
still able to eat. Well, thank you very much. Nice to see you, Jacob.
Well, thank y'all.
Bye bye.
Thanks, Jacob. Yeah, it's funny. One of my tanks, my rice fish tank, I had to take some of the dwarf sage out of it that was growing right up to the glass.
Yeah.
Just make sure he needs to do that wiggle method that you taught me about removing the jungle valve. He's got to
Yeah,
wiggle it out. I just
Christian
yanked it,
saying, get jiggy with a valve.
right?
Right. What is that I'm talking about? Feels like a short guy at a rock concert.
Not sure, but he does have a question for you. I've actually got a list of questions for you. Adam says, my pond's water lettuce is suddenly light green. Is this a nitrogen deficiency? I'm curious if the pond's in full sun, because some of mine started turning yellow, the ones that's in full sun.
Hard to say. Could be something, could be nothing. Add some more fish. If you think there's not enough nutrient for the plants, add a few more koi. Pick up another large koi or two.
Yeah, he says it's in full sun most of the day. Could sunlight somehow do that to the plants? Could they
No.
actually, it can't?
No.
Hey, thanks for clearing that up, because I've been wondering about that myself. Then we got another question here. Let's see, there we go.
New canister. The only time I use canisters is in very large tanks. And I do it primarily for flow. I realize that a tank does not have to have flow. Lucas Bratz does not have flow in any of his tanks other than what occurs naturally through temperature and the activity of the fish and so forth. I personally prefer flow. Mostly because I tend to have larger numbers of fish in my tank than the natural oxygen CO2 cycle can manage. So it needs a little help in order to make sure that water is coming up to the surface in order to release CO2 and absorb oxygen. If the water at the bottom never moves up, and it will through normal thermoclines, but if it doesn't, it becomes a dead zone in which nothing can live. Now, that doesn't happen naturally and normally. But that essentially is what, excuse me, is what red tide is. Red tide is bacteria, algae coming into a given area and depleting, it's a bacteria, depleting that area of oxygen. And it sort of hangs in a spot. And if there's no circulation through that, and there are areas like that, particularly as you come into littoral regions closer to shore where there's no flow. It may be that there's a pit there where the water is not moving. It could be just the opposite. It could be some structure that's causing water to swirl around and creating an area where there's no water movement. In that area where there's no water movement, that creates a dead spot, and that can happen in the fish tank. So it's something that I am probably overly sensitive to, but I feel as though because I tend to have more fish in a tank than it can naturally support without water movement, I set up sponge filters and occasionally an air stone, and in a larger tank, a canister filter in order to ensure that the water's moving. I don't do it for filtration's sake. I prefer really to not even have anything in the canister um, because I'm more interested in the flow. In fact, when I set up a saltwater tank, I don't use filters at all. I do a deep sand bed and I use power heads, and I'll use two or three power heads depending on the size of the tank, so that there's really strong flow in the tank. Even in a smaller tank, saltwater needs a stronger flow, which prevents that a dead zone kind of thing from occurring. I ran that into the ground. What else?
Hey, that was actually it was really informative though.
Oh, Wavy Kwan Gaming as baby Corey's. How cool is
Congratulations.
that? That's wonderful.
Hmm.
Wonderful. Nice. Says almost cried. I understand. Shiko Sakai. Watching over my female 24 gold guppy. Oh dear. Oh, wonderful. Nice. Let's see what else. What is this nonsense?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too.
Honestly. I don't know. All right. Megan's here.
Cool.
Our local Spitfire.
Hey,
How are you, Megan?
Can't
You
hear
got
you.
you're muted.
Oh, there it is.
There
I
you
can
go.
hear you.
Hey, I'm a little sick right now, but
Oh, I hope
we're
you feel
just
better.
yeah, it's been a whirlwind the last like couple of weeks. It's been nothing but sickness in my house. I love it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. But I was gonna show you. I finally got that 55-gallon,
All
Nice.
right.
and then let me get my camera switched around.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it looks really nice. I'm still waiting on your plans because the post office decided that they just didn't want to deliver on Saturday. So
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
That's
So
hopefully they'll be okay.
yeah, I hope so. But I just took some plants from my other tank, and then my husband. Do you see him?
What are we looking at?
is that a what is that? I can barely see it.
It's an albino crayfish.
Oh, cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
word. He's going to
Uh,
eat every single plant in there,
yep.
Oh no! Don't say that.
guaranteed.
Oh man, Quentin.
Ah,
And they love
That
eating plants.
was awesome. Well, okay. Well, we're gonna have to find another tank for him to go in because he's not destroying this one. I love that. That was the only thing that Quentin liked in that fish store, other than another cichlid, and I was just like, nope, we're not doing any more cichlids.
Right?
So
funny.
he got a crayfish, but apparently now we're gonna have to find
Oh
another tank
dear.
for him to go in.
Right.
Oh well. But yeah, that's hopefully I'll have better luck with those plants now.
Hopefully.
That'll be
Yeah.
good.
Oh yeah, and then my little cichlid babies are finally like coming out as well.
Oh,
What kind?
nice.
Yeah. Oh, of
What
course
are
the
they?
time. They're Mabuna cichlids. They're
Okay.
kind of like they're teeny little babies.
Oh, look at them.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Yep. They're
That's
just kind of
adorable.
everywhere. Yeah, they're so cute. I have an
Yeah,
orange
they
like
are.
he's the only orange one in here, and of course the time that I am trying to show it off, he's like, nope, don't want to do that. But
Nice.
yep, those are my oh there he is. I don't know if you can see him. Little baby.
Oh, look at
Yep.
them all.
Yep.
That's so cute.
Yeah, and then my little ghost shrimp.
I love the ghost shrimp.
They're so much fun, and they're nice and cheap, so I don't have to worry about it.
Oh,
Right.
But
definitely.
yeah, and then I got didn't particularly want them, but my local fish store has a they were going under renovation, and they had 3 convict cichlids
Oh dear.
that they could not find a home for.
Huh.
So I
So you got suckered in.
yeah, I sure did. So they're kind of in this 10-gallon that has my African dwarf frogs in it. So I'm trying to figure out where to put them because they're still tiny, and I wanted to put them in my Babuda tank, but they're just not quite big enough yet. So that's where they are. But yep, that's all.
Nice to see you.
It's
And your
nice to
tanks are
see
looking
you
great.
guys. Thank you. It's been a nice little work in progress.
Hey, that's what it takes to get there, but hey, you're getting there.
Slowly and surely. Yep.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, I just wanted to show that new 55-gallon off now that I
Yeah, I'm
finally
glad you did.
finally got it done.
Yeah, you
Appreciate
did. It
it.
looks good.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Megan. Good to see
It'll
you.
look a lot better once tanks our plants get here on Monday. So I'm excited.
Right. Right.
All
Bye for
right,
now.
guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Ah, Norbito Mendoza.
Hey, what's up?
Hi, how are
Hey.
you?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
All right. So here's my Father Fish tank that I've had for a minute now. Uh it used to have a matin filter there, but I ended up taking it out. So it just has
Yeah, there's a nice idea, but they tend to be evolving.
yeah. There's nothing but a couple of Siamese algae eaters in there.
Oh, okay.
Um I haven't really decided what to put in here yet. There's a ton of shrimp in here, but
Nice.
um
Well, you can just give the shrimp time to take over the tank.
oh, I have some plants up here.
Oh, how pretty.
There's a philodendron, I think that one there.
Right, right.
And this one is one of those common. What are they called? I forgot the name. But
Pothos?
yeah, there you go, pothos. Yeah. So, what I wanted to ask you, Father Fish, was related to this over here. So sorry about the glare, but it's in the window. So in here I have some tiny baby fry, some swordfish fry. You can
Nice.
kind of see them there.
Yeah,
Hmm.
They're about a month old, I want to say.
right.
And my question to you was, I have another mom that's about to give birth. So she's over here somewhere. Oh, there she is, right there. And
Okay.
she's about to pop. So my question to you was, could I just toss her in here and have her drop in here, or are these guys too big for the newborn fry?
No, they're not. They're not going to bother the fry. She may go after them, but chances are she
Oh,
won't.
sorry.
So I think it's a good plan.
So just put her in here and then just keep her well fed, so that
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
You might consider putting some sand in there.
Well, this is only temporary for the fry to grow up, and then I'm gonna just throw them all in that 50. This is a
Right.
55. This is a 55 over here. So it
There's a
houses.
beautiful fish in there.
This is Alpharos cotratus. You know what that is?
Yes.
So that's what those silvery ones are. These guys.
Nice.
They're a live bear too, and I have a ton of fry of those guys. So you can.
Oh, wow. You sure do.
That you
Uh,
do. Wow.
and then there's a bunch already in out here that are too big to be in that little net there.
Wow. Oh,
So
you're loaded with them.
yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with them yet, and I have a bunch of other fry of a different live bear too. So I have a bunch right now.
Wow.
Uh, so okay, so that sounds like a plan. I'll just do that then. Uh,
Yeah, that'd be fine. You could put those fry in the fry tank. They give them a
oh,
little more space.
these guys,
Yeah,
put them in with the sword tails over there.
yeah.
Ah, cool. I was thinking about doing that, but these Alfaros, they're very rambunctious. You know, they're very like fast and like kind of
I don't think they're going to bother them. They're a nice fish.
they really are, especially when the light. You can kind of see how they're
Look at that. Yeah, that's
bluish,
really pretty.
Wow.
Yeah.
bluish yellow, and they show off a lot. Like they're
That's really cool.
constantly like doing these dances that
Well,
are
you got a
pretty.
lot of them there.
Yeah, there's I started off with two pairs, two trios,
Huh.
and then yeah, right now I want to say, and then I got some over here also in a planted tank. There's some baby Alpharis cultratus in here.
Oh, my.
Nice.
So this one's a little 5 gallon that's plant. It's got the whole father fish system in there.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a little 5 gallon, so I really did like a very small amount of substrate. I think it's like a quarter inch or something.
Right, right. Yeah,
But
that's
there's
fine.
a baby tears in here, and you can kind of see how they just kind of went out of control there.
Right.
Um,
That looks great.
and then I got some shrimp over here, but yeah. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, but maybe go to a fish swap and maybe sell 'em. I don't know. I gotta think of something.
Where do you live?
I'm in Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some big fish swaps near you.
Yeah.
A
Yeah.
couple of really good clubs.
Every 3 months, the Cichlid Association has like a swap meet, so
Nice.
I gotta figure out how to get involved with that and see if it's
Yeah,
even
that'd be
worth
perfect.
it. Because you know how it is. It costs a little bit to get a table and whatnot. So, but yeah, well, thanks for your time.
You bet, Norberto. Nice
Yeah,
to meet you.
yeah,
You're
have a
doing
good
a
one.
great job. I love it.
You,
All right, guys, have a good one.
you
Thank
too.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice.
Hmm. He's got some nice fish.
My Corey's ate all my plants, says Hueve Kwan.
Hmm.
I have a hard time with that one.
I've never seen him eat plants before.
Yeah, I don't think that's what happened. I think if plants died and the Corys ate the dead leaves.
Mhm.
But I don't believe that the Corys ate living plants. They will eat dead plants because they break down. What's going on here?
Yeah, we had a troll briefly, but Kim got rid of him.
Yeah, I saw it.
Mhm.
It's good.
Definitely. Oh, it looks like the prodigious is here. You want me to bring him up on screen?
Sure.
Oh,
There he is.
Hey.
hey, what's up, guys?
How are you?
Good. Getting ready for work.
Hey, good.
Just
What do you
wanted to chat
do?
on through.
What
I
kind of
work at
work?
Burger King.
Oh, okay.
Eh,
Cool.
yeah.
Gonna become a mogul, are
Yeah.
you?
I had a question about
Sure.
this right here. Like,
Mhm.
do you know what that is?
What are we
We may
looking at?
need to make
Hold
it a
on.
little bigger.
I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. Maybe I can flip this around. Camera, front facing, back facing. Okay. You see that stuff right there?
Yeah,
Do you
it's
know
a
what that is?
yeah, it's a kabamba.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
It's a nice plant.
Okay. I was like, it looks weird. But yeah, other than that, the tank is thriving. The
Certainly
beta
is.
is alone.
It looks great. She's pretty.
Yeah. Her fins started growing back and everything.
Right.
There's McQueen.
Nice.
And then
Very
yeah,
nice.
there's the other side.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I just wanted to stop on through because I haven't seen you guys in a while.
All right. Appreciate you.
Of course. You guys have a good Sunday.
Take care. Bye, prodigious.
You too. Bye.
Does garlic help sunken belly? It certainly can. Um, Generally speaking, it's a good idea to, we just lost Dana. Generally speaking, it's a good idea to isolate sick fish, particularly if there's only one. If it's a group, then you need to treat the tank because obviously the problem is in the tank. But very often, one fish will get sick. And if you can pull it out right away, treat it separately, then it's not going to affect everything else. Usually, like with parasites, for example, if a fish gets a parasite like ick, it's a parasite. That parasite has to go through its life cycle in order to create more to affect other fish. So you've got a couple of days there, grace, to be able to deal with it. Which is why it's always better if there's one fish with one problem to remove that fish to a hospital tank where you can focus on it and treat it directly without the potential for other fish having the same problem. There she is.
Yeah, all weekend it's been having these hiccups in the internet. I don't know what's going on with it.
Uh, uh, Good Witch of Maryland, Brenda's here. Hey, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Nice to see you.
Hmm.
Hmm. Oh, this is interesting. Gothic Viper. What makes a tank break out of nowhere after 5 years of use? Good question.
That is.
Okay, and I'm glad you asked because there's something I want to show you. And this will be disturbing for some.
I'm gonna make it full screen.
All right. But I'm going to show you the the 30-gallon, 25-year-old tank. Now, before I show it to you, I need to warn you. I have ignored this tank for about 6 months. No light, no water changes, no food, nothing. I've completely ignored it. I've allowed it to evaporate down to about an inch of water. It's sitting in a window, and so this is what it looks like. Ought to put a lid on it. Let's see. There's a snail. Is that a snail? That's a fish. There is a fish alive in here. I didn't even know that. And it's a keyhole. It's a little tiny keyhole. Okay, so here's the deal. This is all the copa that's reaching for the window. There's duckweed in here. You can see the whole thing is just derelict. It's down to nothing. So tomorrow morning, I'm going to get Corey and Bryce over here, and they're going to haul this out and take it over to my office, put it on the stand, and we're going to fill it with water. And we're going to see this tank resurrect itself after 6 months of
Wow.
complete neglect.
Can we see a top view?
I don't know if you can or not.
Wow, and it still supports life. Wow.
Yeah, and that's no light. It's just getting morning light through the window. Okay, so wanted to show that to you because there's going to be a glorious follow up.
Can't wait to see the follow up. That's gonna be
Yeah,
amazing.
that'll be fun.
Hmm.
All right.
And Christian B was curious what the backstory behind your crucifix is, because that is a really cool crucifix. I remember when you told me about it.
Yeah, let me show this off.
Yeah, I
I
love that crucifix.
need to turn the light on. Oh, I can't get close to it. Let me bring it over. Oh, dear. All right. Kind of dirty, dusty. This is one piece of wood. It's ebony. I got it in Haiti about 25 years ago, and I can tell the story about how I found it. But it's a remarkable piece, and it shows a very gaunt Christ, thin. Um, it presents a figure that we don't think of. We think of Jesus as well fed and very healthy. I think he was healthy, but this depicts him in a way that we don't normally think of him, with his ribs showing, rib cage showing, very thin legs, a tall, gaunt looking body. I think that may be a more accurate portrayal of how he actually was. He was on the road all the time, walking, traveling, and teaching, talking to people, sharing with people. He didn't hold down a job. He didn't stay in one place. He was on the move all the time. Now, let me explain this. I discovered there was a a, uh, a business in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince, on the main road, that was a big warehouse that contained art objects, mostly carvings and paintings from Haitians. So I went there to look. There were three basements, sub basements. The building was 3 stories high. So there were 6 floors. Each floor was probably, I would guess, 2,000 square feet. So six, that's about 10,000 square feet. And they were literally filled, every floor just thrown in piles, stuffed to the gills with art of all sorts and kinds. The wood beetles were so infested in the wood sculptures, you could actually hear them grinding away at the art. It was bizarre. I saw this, knew I had to have it. Uh, the guy charged me $100 for it, which I was happy to pay because it's worth a great deal more than that to me. It's had some damage, but it's been repaired and is in pretty good shape now. Needs to be cleaned. Um, it's just an utterly remarkable piece, and I've kept it over the years. Eventually, we'll donate it probably to a church somewhere. We'll see. Anyway, yeah,
That's an amazing work of art. It's amazing that
isn't it?
somebody carved that from just one piece of wood.
Right. And that's ebony, which is extremely hard wood.
Oh, that had to be difficult.
Let me get
That
it.
had to be very difficult.
Put it here.
Mhm.
Uh, oh dear. Did I put it out of the view, didn't I?
Yeah, it's a little bit out of the view now,
Oh well.
but that is a cool story.
Let's see what happens if I do this. There it is. Right. Okay.
Yeah, if we
Over
set it
here.
to this, you can see it.
There we go.
Yeah, and
Right.
that way you can still see it.
Oh dear. So thank you for that.
Mhm.
Oh,
And actually, Kim asked this earlier.
come again.
I've got it pinned.
Oh,
Kim asked about
human
sharing the
grandfather.
story of your grandpa.
Oh, yeah, Kim was that. Well, my both sides of my family settled in an area not far from where I'm living now, on the eastern shore of Maryland, in the late 1650s. About what, almost, well, 375 years ago. Um, when they were settlers as opposed to um, immigrants, which is to say they were not coming into an established community. They were going into the wilderness and carving out the wilderness. Both my mother's great 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 grandfather and my father's, going all the way back, don't know what contact they had. Likely they were in contact. They both were teenagers who came to the Richmond colony in the mid 1600s, and took took one or more of the trips north up the Chesapeake Bay along the eastern seaboard of the Chesapeake Bay, looking for a place to settle, looking for land. And they found it, and they both found it. Now, my mother was a Parks, and my father was a Foxwell. So the Parkses and the Foxwells had been in an area called Church Creek. It's just outside of Cambridge, Maryland. Since then, since the
Wow.
about the 1650s, late 1650s, um, and they came there as teenagers, as young men, and built a homestead. Found a wife somehow. I think one of them was married a native woman. The other one, I think, went back to Richmond and found a woman there to bring back. Um, and that was that. So that both of them thrive, both families, and are both there today. They have crossed countless times. I ran into, I was looking for a cemetery that's down that way that has only Foxwells buried in it. And I stopped. There was a man cutting a lawn at a church, and I asked him if he knew where it was. He said, "Oh yeah, I take care of that. What's your interest?" And I said, "Well, I'm a Foxwell. My father married a Parks." He said, "Oh, I'm a Parks. I married a Foxwell."
Small
The
world.
area, the 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 two little towns are Crepo, Crepo, which is right at the tip of the bay, and World's End. And World's End is where they settled. Today, the sign is down. When they redid the road, they took the World's End sign down, never put it back up. It's a marsh, a mosquito infested marsh. Um, so that's my heritage. My grandfather's, his father, and my father's grandfather, both of my great grandfathers were sea captains. And they both uh, had what are called punji boats that traveled basically between Cuba and New York, um, trading, stopping at every port along the way. That was in the that was actually in the late 1800s, up through the early 1900s, up to about the First World War. My grandfather talked a lot about the um, the Monongahela River, which runs up into West Virginia, comes off of the Chesapeake Bay. Most of these men went into the rivers. In fact, they were mostly pirates and smugglers. So they when the government came around, they would push their boats way high up into the swamp where they couldn't be found until the revenuers went back to their to their environs and left the area. Then they would go up and pull their boats out of the swamp and continue to ply their trade. So wonderful stories. The grandfather loved to tell stories, and I kind of grew up on his, many of which were fanciful tales, but
Hey, sometimes that's the most fun.
the stuff of childhood.
Mhm.
What do we have here? We have Daryl Wheeler. Hi, Daryl.
Hey, Father Fish. Hey, Dina. How y'all
Hey,
doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's been a while since I talked to you. I'm gonna show
Yeah,
you the tank. It's looking good.
looking great.
yeah, it
Absolutely.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't done anything to it except top water off. I need to do that now, actually. But
Yeah. You don't have a lot of fish in there.
uh, I got 9 neon tetras, and there's 9 guppies. 2 males, 7 females. There's 3 koi catfish, and I just put 12 red shrimp in here. Now I
Nice.
haven't put a lot of fish in here yet, no, but I'm going for some schooling fish. I found it's called a black line tetra, I think is what it is,
Yeah.
and it
Yeah.
has like a 45-degree black line down its tail, down its body,
Nice.
and they school together really, really good. And I want to put a bunch of them in here.
That'd be cool. Let's say your neons.
This big green plant here.
That's a sword plant.
Is there any way to like take a piece of it and move it somewhere else, or
It will divide. If you keep an eye on that trunk, it will grow a second plant that you'll be
okay?
able, once it gets established, you'll be able to divide it. It'll get bigger as it does that, but you'll notice there will be additional plants growing up from the base.
Okay. I know all these, like this tall one here, I can clip this and replant it, right?
Right.
And I think this is a hornwort. That's
Yeah.
like crazy. I've done clipped it and planted it a bunch of times.
Yeah.
But so this one here, it's probably the same thing as this one. This one puts off little pieces that
Runners. Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
That's the same thing the sword plant will do.
Well, kind of right. It's more prolific that way. It's going to grow more babies.
And these were red, but they're not red anymore.
Right. Show me the base of that plant. Go down low. Oh, okay. You got two separate ones there.
Yeah, there's two. Yes, yeah. I didn't know when I started. I just planted stuff in places, and
Yeah, looks
I don't
nice.
want to pull it up and move it. So
Right. No, I wouldn't yet. Give it another 6 months. See
I got
how
some
far.
elephant ears up here, but they keep turning brown on the corners. I don't know what.
The roots are not established yet.
That's all it is. Okay.
Yeah, it just takes time for that.
All
Once
right.
they are, that won't happen.
Also on these what hornwort? I think that's what it's called.
Money wart.
This plant here.
Oh, that's, yeah, right.
Does it once you clip it? Does it not grow from that spot anymore?
Oh, yeah,
Or
it does. Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like everywhere I've clipped it, it stopped growing, and it's like putting out new shoots from off
Well,
the side
you
and stuff.
don't have a lot of food, a lot of fish in there, so there's not a lot of nutrition for the plant.
Okay, I mean they grow like crazy. Like before I clipped that stalk there, it was growing about an inch per day, and then it done grew that whole nother shoot off of it since. So
Right.
I got a lot of floating stuff up here too.
Nice.
I still got my the other tank with the Bisher in it, but I haven't got to set it up this way yet. But I'm going to.
Okay.
I just
It looks
haven't had
really
time.
good. I like your tank, Daryl.
I found this tall. It's actually the same plant as this one,
Right.
and I'm not sure does it go in the water or out. But it's
It'll
been in
go,
there for a few days, and it seems to be
it'll
doing all
do
right.
both. It'll grow in the water or out of the water.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I put a piece out and inside to see. So
Yeah.
yeah, got
Wonderful.
this
Very nice.
green film growing on my driftwood. I like that.
Looks like a shrimp or two.
I put 12 of those in there a couple days ago,
Nice.
hoping they multiply.
Oh, cool.
But I hope that green on the wood will get on this ship.
Oh, that would look cool.
All
That's
right.
what I want that to cover in that green little film.
It will.
I
Give it
think it'll look good that way.
right.
Yeah, well.
And this right here too, I'm not sure. Should this be in the dirt instead of up here?
No, it's fine.
It's
It's
fine right there.
it's liking being there. That's Java moss.
Okay. All right. Well, cool.
Very good. Thank you, Daryl.
All
Thank
right,
you.
guys. Well, good to
Good
talk to you.
job. Good job. Like your tank.
We'll see y'all later. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Nice.
Yeah. Love that pirate ship. That looks so cool. I can't wait to see it
Yeah, that's
covered with that
fine.
green film.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a break right quick. I'll be right back.
Let's see. Story night. Yeah, it is kind of story night, isn't it? Oh, last gas in the universe, World 10. Yeah, I found it. There was a sign when I first found it. That was about 40 years ago. And it just said World's End. And it was on a bend. And it was all marsh. I got out and moved around a bit. Got attacked by mosquitoes so bad I got back in the car. Um, I don't know where they lived exactly. They must have found some higher ground because the only thing I saw was marsh. But then much of the the island parts of the bay are like that. The bay's huge. It's immense, and there are thousands, millions of acres of farmland and marshland. The marshes are so vast they disappear from sight. They just you see as far as you can see. It's marshland. They're amazing places. Rubber plant is a centerpiece. The only issue is the leaves have to be out of the water. They won't survive in the water. Okay, am I at the bottom? Now, a lot of the names, like Monongahela, is a Native American name. Um, a lot of the places here on the shore, the names derive from the earlier natives, many of which many of which are still here. I don't want to give you the idea that this area where I'm living was an Eden of peace and love. It was not. There were Indian wars. Now, they weren't major battles, but the natives didn't always get along well with each other or with the settlers. Sometimes did, sometimes didn't. It was a mixed bag. And then as the land became developed and farmed in the 17 and early 1800s, there was a substantial influx of slaves. So there was a fair amount of slave activity on the shore, um, which is which is um, reflected in a lot of the lore from the shore involving the Underground Railroad and John Brown and so forth. There was substantial efforts to end the slave trade, but it was as bad as it gets. And this is a very southern kind of mentality. So it was very rural. Um, it was very um, what's the word? Very southern, very genteel in its own way, but also cruel. Now, I have found that this is the most gentle place I've ever lived. And I've lived in a lot of different places. The people are kind. to each other. And there are there are a lot of races here. Um, there are a lot of blacks, a lot of Spanish, a lot of Korean, um, a fair amount of Chinese, a lot of Africans who have come into the area more recently. It's a real mixed bag, and is a very gentle, kind place.
That's
You go
good.
down the street and people are cordial. Now, that doesn't necessarily run deep, but it at least creates um, a, a means by which people are able to get along in their superficial relations. There's also a lot of drunkenness, a lot of redneck um, um, in antisocial behavior, a lot of wife beating. It's all of the problems that one would expect coming out of a rural southern environment, which is very much what that is. It's gentrified. There are areas that are so gentrified they could be in Northampton. Just kind of remarkable. So Dean's here.
Technically, it's me.
Don't say his name.
No, I said technically it's me though instead of Dean. I went and stole his phone.
Oh, this is you. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
and he's got it set where it actually will show full screen. So he's awesome the way he set this up.
Nice.
Let me know if you can still hear me, okay?
Oh, yeah. So far, so good.
This is my turtle calamari.
Cannot hear you now.
Can't hear me now? How about now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I gotta even turn the mic on the phone off because I was gonna use my actual mic, but it looks like that's not gonna work, is it?
This work is fine.
Oh, it's
I
working
can,
fine?
yeah.
Well, I did a little bit of pruning. Got a lot of the mint trimmed back because it's actually growing out of the tank like this one back here was. But what I really want to show you guys is these amazing guppies that I got from NC. Check these guys out.
Nice.
This is the glass belly koi short bodies. Up here, I've got a pregnant female getting ready to give birth. And this is the glass belly koi ribbon guppy.
All right.
And I've got babies already because my
Wow.
albino metal lace actually gave birth yesterday. And I don't know if you can see them. There they are. Sadly, only 2 survived because the parents kept eating them. So, but after I put her in the breeder box, we got 2 left. So I can't wait to see these guys get grown. Just wanted to hop in real quick and show these guys off because they are so beautiful. Especially the male. The male is very beautiful. But he seems to be hiding right now. There he is. But yeah, those guppies are just breathtaking. They are amazing.
Nice.
They look so much like betta fishes instead of guppies.
Right.
Yeah.
The chair over my left shoulder. Oh, the leather chair. There's a local used furniture business here in town that's rather unique. It's run by a 94-year-old Korean gentleman who speaks a very broken English. Hale and hearty. I mean, he moves refrigerators around. He's
Wow.
teaching the young guys how to do it.
Huh,
But
good for him.
it turns out that he's been in this community now for about 50 years, since he was in his 40s, and his hobby is buying distressed homes. He puts a flat amount of money into them, and he charges a flat amount of money to sell it. So he'll buy something for $100,000, put 50,000 into it, and sell it for 200. He does two or three of those a year. Now, as he buys a place, he'll pull the furniture out of it, and very often they're old places with a lot of antiques, a lot of old furniture, some of which is really quite nice. That chair came out of his store. Um, Remarkable man, just a remark, and his prices are affordable. I think I
Nice.
paid $40
Oh,
for
that's
that
not bad at
for that
all.
chair now, and a lot of the all of the furniture that you see in the shop that the tanks are sitting on came from his store, and they're real pieces that cost 20 to $50 or so,
That is
and
nice.
just unusual kinds of pieces. Very nice stuff. My big roll top desk came from him.
Oh,
I
cool.
missed a couple of secretaries. I should have snagged one, and I didn't, and they're gone. So I've got to wait for a new one to show up, which could be years.
Mhm.
Um, but you know, amazing. He was in a rundown derelict building right on Route 13 that got torn down. So he moved into a much bigger rundown derelict warehouse that that sits back off the highway right at a railroad track. Um, it's got probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 thousand square feet. I'm sure he doesn't pay more than $1,000 a month for. It's pretty bad, but that's where that's where all the jewels are.
Right?
That's where you find the stuff that's too good to be true. He used to
Mhm.
be a fisherman. He fished all the time. He was out every day fishing. Corey knew him back then. Corey would go fishing with him years ago. Wonderful man, delightful man. Uh, he and his wife are devout Christians, active in a local Korean church. There are half a dozen Korean churches in this little town. So
That's
there's a
cool.
fairly substantial Korean population. Most of them own businesses of various sorts and kinds. One young man is a computer geek who owns a computer repair shop. He's become a good friend.
That's good.
So, what else are we doing here? BXB son. Let's see. We need to get some wrenches out. Prophetic events. Doing well. Good. BXB son. Oh, already got a wrench. How'd that happen? Huh. All right.
Actually, Beck Sand has a he's new to the channel, and he's actually really worried about getting more snails in when he orders plants.
I
So he wants
saw
to
that.
order, yeah.
You're only going to have Getting snails in on plants is not what causes snails to become a problem in a tank. Snails become a problem when your tank is in danger of crashing from overfeeding, and the snails will save your sorry butt from killing your tank.
That they will.
So they are never the problem, they are the solution.
Hmm.
They exist because you've messed up big time and they're trying to save your sorry butt. So you need to get over the notion that snails are somehow um, an unhealthy or undesirable member of your community and realize that they are vital. And if you have a lot of snails, it's because you've got a very serious problem with excess nutrients.
Oh, it looks like Dylan wants to show his tank.
Okay, is he up?
Want me to bring him up?
Sure.
There we go.
I
Hey, can you hear me?
I clicked the wrong button. Sorry.
Yeah,
Cool. I just want to show you guys my tanks. This is my 10-gallon.
that's very pretty.
It is.
Thank you. I've got a bunch of red cherry shrimp in here,
Oh wow.
and I got a little ghost shrimp crawling up here. And then I've got some, if you can see them, they're swimming around in there. Oh, there's one.
Oh yeah.
There's a couple.
What are they?
These are black mollies.
Okay.
And then I've got, if you can see one right here, I got a
Yeah.
red cherry shrimp baby.
Oh, really cool.
I got a bunch of them. Yeah. So
Nice.
there's that one. And then I got my 40-gallon over here.
Good looking tank. You got black sand, lasting
Yeah.
sand. Yeah, I like it.
I haven't got your substrate yet, but I'm gonna get it. And I'm
Okay.
gonna put it in this tank.
Oh,
I
wonderful.
I set this up temporary so I could get the Molly mom and dads out, so
Right.
they would eat the babies.
Right.
But yeah,
Nice.
Hmm.
thanks.
Love that betta.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. He's like a half moon king.
He is beautiful.
Thanks. Oh, I actually had a question for you.
Mhm.
So this tank is like a month old. If you see in the back there, I can't zoom in on it, but on the leaves, well, even right here, there's some like really small holes in them,
Yeah.
and I don't know what caused that.
Well, it's
Or
yeah. There's how can I do this? Your tank needs to develop a stronger um, nutritional cycle.
okay,
That takes time to do. So you may find some problems in the process of getting there, but in time those leaves will fall off and be replaced by healthier leaves. So it's
okay,
really not a problem. It just demonstrates that you're in a process.
yeah, okay.
It's not really a problem. You're good looking tanks. I like your tanks.
Hmm.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You bet.
I'm fairly new to this actually. I've only been doing it for like maybe 6 months
Well,
ish. The 10-gallon is the oldest one, and it is I think it's like around 8 months old, maybe or something.
okay.
Or no, not eight, 7 months, 6 months, something like that.
Yeah, the
So
tanks, the plants are very healthy.
Yeah,
That's
they
a good
are.
thank you,
sign.
thank you. Yeah, I I'm just so the substrate that I'm using is it's the biostratum uh Fluval's biostratum, I think that's what it's called.
You know,
Um so I mean it seems to be working okay. But yeah,
it'll be good for about a year.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
Hmm. But then when you get there, get back to me and I'll show you what you can do about it. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fixable.
Yeah.
It is
So
fixable.
it's fixable like as it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
basically. Yeah.
like I can just add things
Not,
to it.
not exactly, but yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you can. You have to move some of the. You have to drain the water all the way down,
Okay.
and then you can move some of the sand out of the way and put that aqua preta in, and
Okay.
recap it, and you'll be
Okay.
good to go. Yeah. So it's a little involved, but you probably do not need to pull your plants out.
Okay. Yeah, because I would hate to do that.
You know, I don't think you need to do that.
Okay.
Looking good. Looking
Thank
good.
you.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Well,
Well,
thank
I'll get
you.
off here and let you go.
Alrighty.
All right.
Nice to have
Thank
you
you.
visit. You bet.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. All
Love
right.
that.
We have budget funds on.
Oh,
Hey,
cool. Hi.
Hi
how are
there.
you guys? Hey, Father Fish.
How are you?
I
Hi,
wanted
look
to
at this.
report that I've got my Father Fish tanks set up and running for the first time in my life.
Oh, how wonderful.
This is a 2.5 gallon day 2. I just added those fish this afternoon.
Wow. Looking good.
Yeah. Yeah, I was able to get a 10-gallon plant assortment from you, Father Fish, and 10-gallon Preda soil and kind of divided it between this tank and a 5.5 gallon.
Hmm.
And I've got some low tech planted tanks going now. Thank you
Nice.
very much.
Nice.
And I've got the plants oriented kind of in the back corners, leaving a place in the center for my bonsai trees.
Oh,
And I've been down at the pottery working pretty hard to build my bonsai pots to include in the aquariums. So,
how nice.
yeah, hopefully early this week we'll have bonsai trees in these aquariums.
Well, I'm excited to see that.
We're
Oh,
going to see
same
what
here.
happens. I appreciate you guys' support, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. I really don't know what will happen.
Well, we're going to find out.
That's right. We're going to find out.
That's exciting. Well, thank you. Yeah. We'll look forward to this process
Now, as
as we
far
go
as
along with it.
Father Fish, as far as stocking the tank, when do you recommend adding more fish after day 2?
Now, a few more each week.
Okay, per week.
Yeah, per week.
And I found that the PetSmart will give me the Malaysian trumpet snails and ram's horn snails if I asked for them.
Those
Oh,
are two
cool.
good. Yeah, the NTS are particularly desirable because they act like an earthworm.
Very good. And this, though you see the black sand cap there, that's also a PetSmart
Ah,
aquarium substrate. I think someone mentioned it may be sand blasting sand, but it's sold as an aquarium product.
it's comparable.
Yeah.
Looks
And
good.
your packaging is quite professional, Father Fish.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Yeah. I was very excited to get me some of your high-powered soil substrate.
Wonderful.
And I was wondering, last question, could you tell me a little bit about your branded fish food?
Well, we've got a couple.
Yeah.
We have a granular that's a composite food of foods from 3 different manufacturers who each of them provide a very high quality food for the fish industry. Their
Okay.
food is not available um, to hobbyists, but
Oh,
is available as a growth food and a color food for the farming industry. So
okay.
that's one. A second one that we have is a new product that's been designed as a very high quality option to flake food. Normally, flake food is produced by boiling and baking,
Mm-hmm.
and in the process, you wind up with very crisp flakes that have effectively no food value.
Right.
This is actually a paste material that's manufactured at a very low heat um, in order to be able to bind it, and then is spread on tables and dried at a very low temperature. So
Okay.
you wind up with a much thicker flake um, that is extremely high food value. And we find you can tell just by looking at it, it's kind of amazing stuff. We've been feeding it for about a week, and it's doing really quite well. There's no waste, and the fish seem to be thriving on it. So those, I think, both of those are online now and are available.
Does it have a shelf life or is it pretty long lived?
It does have a shelf life. It's it needs to be fed out in 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Six, and if you keep it refrigerated, it'll last that full period.
Okay.
So it's good to keep it refrigerated. But it's really a wonderful food. It's the kind of food you enjoy feeding because you know you can just tell by
Right.
smelling it and looking at it. It's a rich dark green, and it's kind of a thick, almost like a leaf. It's really, and they're large. They're large pieces, a couple of inches.
Well, I will definitely try some of that. And as I get off of here, get off somebody else's way, Father Fish, I want to give a good salute to your plants. Your product is amazing. I know a video is worth 1,000 pictures, and a picture is worth 1,000 words. This is basically the remnants of a 10-gallon assortment pack, and all of the plants are healthy. I've had to trim the ones in the 5.5 gallon because they'd already grown out of the aquarium. They were had a top that was growing immersed.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's a terrific assortment, better than advertised. That would be my comment concerning your plant sales.
Well, thank you so much. You
Yeah,
know, that's not the case for packages that take a week or more to get delivered. Um, they do suffer in the mail if they're in the mail longer than 3 or 4 days. 5 days absolute maximum. They've been in the dark for extended periods of time, and no plant is going to survive that. So we simply replace them at our expense. We try to fight with the post office, but it's a
sure.
losing battle.
Well, as
And we,
everyone can see, the plants that I received were amazing and in fantastic shape.
wonderful. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Father Fish.
You bet. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. I'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
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 Actually, we've got a few questions for you, Father Fish.
Sure.
Fly Guy wants to know, does blue light bother fish?
No, doesn't bother them. It doesn't do much. It's of no particular value, but it does provide options for being able to see nighttime fish behavior, which can be very different than daytime fish behavior for certain species.
That makes sense. And then Roger also has a question. Hi, Father Fish and Dina from Australia. It's nice seeing you. I'm just wondering, a fish keeper said to me to put eggshells in the tank as a calcium source for snails. How do I go with this?
Crush it. Crush the eggshells. You can leave they can be wet shells. In other words, they can be shells that have the membrane still attached. The membrane is highly edible. But if you will crush them, mortar and pestle kind of crush or whatever will turn them into very fine particles. And you can put the whole thing in, but it'll need to dissolve. If you crush it, it makes it more easily accessible for macrofauna and snails and the like. Even the fish will eat some of it. And this is interesting. Connor Martin, how long does it take new tank syndrome to cure in a new 55? Also, do we leave the filter on my new tank? Glad you asked, Connor. If you have set your tank up with a natural substrate, with a dirted substrate and a sand cap, and you have planted that tank, rather heavily planted it, and have put a few fish in it, there is no new tank syndrome. You've gone beyond it, and it's no longer an issue. Now, there are issues that can occur down the line in the next few months, excess algae or um, uh, bacteria growth in the algae, those kinds of things. But those are matters that are really not difficult to deal with. But so far as the new tank issue is concerned, you've by setting up the tank the way we recommend, you've already established the nitrogen cycle and have created an environment where plants and fish will be able to thrive. Now, you don't want to overwhelm it. You want a few fish and then add a few more a week later. Give it time to build and become stronger. But you've got all the pieces in place to make it work. Fake plants, sand, and pebbles. Well, I would suggest you start over. You'll order some of your soil. You can put that sand and pebble on top of it, and then plant it heavily, and you'll be well on your way to a well-established tank. Weston is here. We need his camera on and mic on.
Hmm.
We don't have camera or mic, so I can't bring him up unless he has a camera.
We had audio for a second, but yeah, we need your camera on, please.
Or if you're not going to be able to get your camera, at least turn your audio on
Mhm.
so we can talk. Oh dear. All right. We've still got 15 minutes here.
We've got a couple more questions.
Sure. Pop them in.
Yep. Um, Dayton asked, Father Fish, my tank seems to get a bit cloudy with debris from my Corydoras sifting in. Is this normal or is it from my sand? Maybe not taking down the mold.
Well, it's hard to say. What you could try to do is add another quarter to half inch of sand and see if that resolves it. Sometimes the sand is not deep enough to handle the biological load being created in your tank and may need a little more for that precipitative material to be able to actually get into the substrate. So try another quarter to half inches of sand. See if that resolves it.
That should. And then Radina had a question about the new fish food that's coming out. She wants to know if the
Fish
fish are
coloring.
coloring up.
Lilo in Cole Porter's Can-Can, 1953. Did you ever really want to dance? Which means, of course, that you
Well, I don't know yet. It's only been a week. I can't really tell. Not even a week, really. What we discovered is the fish thoroughly enjoy the food. Um, there's no waste with it, and it's obviously a high quality food, so it's the sort of thing you feel good about feeding. My hunch is, yeah, it's gonna it's gonna show up in color. It depends on what's there too. Right now, we have mysis and garlic is what's available. There are a number of different formulas where we'll have to start getting some of the others in and make them available. Um, there are probably 6 different formulas right now, some of which will include carotene, which is a coloring agent. But I think we'll find very healthy fish with it.
Definitely.
Yeah, this is a good one. Any advice? Try fish that are, I mean, plants that are harder to destroy. Vallisneria and swords are 2 good ones. Also, Anubias and even cryptocorinne. Those are all kind of hard leaf plants. You can do fern. Fern usually won't be messed with. Um, that's really the solution. Crypt is a particularly good one because it's a very hard leaf, and very few fish will bother chewing on it. And if they do, they're not going to get full. So,
Right.
try plants that have a stronger, firmer, harder leaf that are less delectable to the fish's appetite. Let them eat barnacles, says Willie. Great, barnacles. How do I explain what it says? Property of. I'm really of 2 minds with this. I keep my bettas mostly in 10-gallon tanks, community tanks. I keep them with lots of other fish. Um, but if I were to suddenly have a spawn where I had hundreds of bettas, they would be kept in cubicles, tiny cubicles, under very restrictive conditions. I once grew out 500 bettas from 2 spawns using tackle box trays with the little sections,
Mhm.
and I drilled holes above each section so that to clean them, I inverted them. All the water came out through a hole, turned them back up, dipped them actually in a tank to refill them, um, and then opened the lid and would feed each one individually. It was a bother, but it worked. I had some losses, but really not substantial losses. I was able to get about 500 to grow out of, oh, I don't know how many there were, uh, hundreds more probably. But, the average success rate with that kind of operation is pretty small. If you look at how bettas are grown out in farms, particularly in Thailand, which is where most of them are from, they grow them out in Coke bottles, and they will have thousands, even tens of thousands of Coke bottles sitting upright, stacked together, bound together, and they walk on them. And they pour water into them, and they've got a siphon that they deliver Daphnia to them. Um, and they don't dump them. They will simply add water to them in order to be able to get the tank cleaned up, but they don't really particularly worry about that. Bettas are used to living in pretty dire conditions and do not require oxygen in the water to survive. They're an air breather. So the water can be pretty foul. And so long as it's not bacterial foul, they'll do just fine. So long as it's simply low oxygen, they can handle that easily. Now, I don't suggest keeping them that way, but the reality is, if you're breeding bettas and you've got 100 baby bettas, what are you going to do? You can grow them up together to a certain point, but at a certain point, the males need to be separated and they need to be put in individual containers. And you may not have 50 fish tanks to put them in, which means you need to put them then in small containers. People who put bettas in very large tanks. Now, hear me on this. I've seen this over and over again. People will put their betta in a 20-gallon or a 40-gallon or a 50-gallon tank. And that betta will be shooting back and forth in there. And they will say to a person, they will say, look how happy he is. He's swimming all over the tank. Well, as a fish whisperer, I'm here to tell you that fish is not happy. He's trying to get away from being in open water where he's a target. He's trying to find a place to hide, which is what they prefer to do. Bettas don't swim around the way other fish do. They lurk. They stay in one spot. They move when there's a reason to move. Or when they want to just exercise a little, or they're looking for food, or going for a breath of air, that's when they move. They don't normally just swim around and around. If they're doing that, there is something wrong. That's not normal behavior for a betta. Now, if you have a group of them, they're going to interact with each other and will be on the move more because they're interacting. That's normal behavior. But for one betta in a tank by itself, if it's going around and around, up and down, it's not happy. So, not the answer you wanted to hear, I expect. The biggest problem with keeping bettas in small containers is the husbandry skills that are required to keep it healthy. You can't let it go foul. You can't keep dumping crappy food in there and fouling the water and expecting it to somehow survive. You gotta be responsible about keeping a fish in a small container. That means keeping it in a healthy container. There are ways to do that, but too many people don't do that. And that's what we see in the big box stores. We see fish dying and sick in the little tiny jars because they're not getting any care at all. None, zero, zilch, nada. And that's why they get sick and die. If they were getting proper care, they would not have problems. They would survive happily. All right, what else we got here? Are we down to it? We're getting down to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, we're brought down to it.
Got about 5 minutes, folks.
hmm
What you got? What
Let's
you
see.
got?
Let's see what we got.
Let's see.
Actually,
All right,
Regina.
let's try this.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you was clicking at the same time.
From the Houston Grand Opera production of Scott Joplin's legendary Treemonisha,
And it's not likely to.
as presented on Broadway in
You've created a mud hole. You have a mud hole. I mean, that's what you got. You got a dead mud hole with nothing alive in it. It's not going to be healthy for fish. It's going to stay crappy looking permanently. I suggest you dump it out and do it right. That's terrible. Don't put fish in there. Stabilizer and prime are going to do nothing to help that mess.
Yeah.
Nothing. They're not wonder drugs that fix foul tanks. All right, that was about as harsh as I can. Adam, thank you, Adam. Wonderful. I appreciate you so much. Adam is a dear friend who's dear and devoted.
That he is. Hey, there's Brenda.
Well, hey, Brenda.
Hey.
Hi.
What are we looking at here? Oh, these are the new tanks.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
the new ones.
Looks so good. I love the aquascaping on that tank.
Looking good.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting there. This tank somehow got dirt in it and developed some tannins. Don't really know how that happened. There probably was, I don't know, I watched them do it and it was pretty level, but something happened. But it's okay. It's not going to be a problem. We
That's
can do
good.
some water changes.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty healthy, really. Show us the lungfish.
Lungfish.
That'd be cool.
Oh, the light's off. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we've got algae down here. So we're leaving the lights off to control the algae. We have
Got him in there.
There's a
Oh.
pleco in there.
And a snail. Let's see.
And a snail. And he hadn't eaten snail yet.
There he comes. Maybe? I don't see him.
Maybe.
Move the filter a little. Huh.
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
Cool.
yeah, sure enough. He's about a foot long.
Wow.
So an African lungfish. I think it's African. It might be South American, come to think of it. The African has longer paddles. The South American has shorter. I think that's a South American. There he is. Pretty cool animal. No, that's an African. Sure enough. Nice.
That lungfish is really cool.
They are amazing animals.
That they are.
In the summer, when the water evaporates, they'll dig down into the mud in the pond that they're in and then cap it off and leave just their tip of their mouths so they can take gasps of air in. And they'll stay in there like in a cocoon until it rains again, which could be 6 months later.
That is amazing.
And that's something, yeah.
I never would have thought it could have survived like that. That is really cool. That is a neat fish.
They have a lateral line. You kind of see it. They're blind, they have no eyes, no useful eyes at least. And they get about 3 foot. They get pretty good size
Wow.
and very big around. They're not like the electric eel, however. They're not dangerous. But then they don't have teeth, but they have a very hard bite.
Yeah, they look like they could definitely bite hard.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to put my hand in there.
really.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Neat.
you're just awesome, Brenda.
What else we got you can show us?
Lights are out on everything.
Right.
We got the front room.
Okay. That's always good.
We got these guys. You can see them.
Oh, they are pretty.
And some discus in there. Yeah. There's a dog in there.
There's a Bella. There's a Bella.
Hi, Bella.
Hey, Bella. That's a nice tank.
They're all coming to say hi.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Nice. There are chocolate cichlids down in there, along with some flower horns. I think our flower horns have gone out of there. Those are, yeah, there are a couple of flower horns. Jack Sinspilum, chocolate. There's a big pair of chocolate cichlids in there. There's a starry night.
Oh, cool.
From Madagascar. There's a flower horn with a red belly and a hump on its head.
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, the one that's good at buying. There's the chocolate cichlid. That's the big male, I think.
I think he's following me.
It looks like it.
I go this way and he goes this way.
Yeah.
He's following the camera.
Right.
That's so cool.
Whew. Thank you, Chico, so much for your very kind and generous donation to the cause. It does mean a lot to us, and we do deeply appreciate it.
That's a beautiful angelfish.
Oh, show the big tank. I mean, the big discus tank. I want to look at the angels in there. There's some curious looking angels in that tank. Get up real close to the angels if you can. There's some that have clouds in their body.
That is cool.
I saw 2 or 3. They get, oh yeah, there's
that one. Oh, they're going around the back.
not seeing one yet. I think there are 2 of them that have obvious clouds. It's very unusual looking.
Pretty angels.
Yeah, they are pretty angels, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
There's one all the way in the back is Hard to see.
I think they like hiding.
No, that's not either. I'm not seeing what I'm looking for. Yeah, that's a pair of discus down there. They've laid eggs twice. Nothing has hatched yet, so we're hoping that we're going to wind up with a proven pair and then try to raise babies. That'll be great fun.
That will be. That's a beautiful thing.
There's one right there.
That one?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like a cloud on its side. It's just a little, yeah, that's one. A different kind of marking. There's the other one.
Those are
Wonderful. Thank you, Brenda.
Yeah, thanks. That's fun.
Here's the monster tank.
Mm-hmm.
Which is Tanganyikas and Malawis living together in harmony, more or less. We'll have a lot of big peacocks in there, so we'll have a lot of trouble. And fortunately, they sell quick, so when we get them in, they don't last long.
Right.
That'll have time to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a really fun tank to maintain. There's a frontosa at the bottom. And the one above it, I don't remember what that is. It's a Tanganyika that looks a bit like a frontosa, but it's not. It's longer with a more refined body. Refined markings, I guess it should say. Wonderful. Love it. All right. Thank you, Brenda, very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Are we there? We're down to it.
Yes, 8:03. I didn't even realize the time. Let me bring the song up.
We lost our paste ups. You want to get the music up, Brenda? Dina?
Yep, working on it now. Whenever my internet went dead earlier, it sort of lost the music.
Like that out, yeah.
Love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Thank you guys so much. It's been a wonderful evening. Always just great
about their home. When the sunlight shines
caring
upon
and caring.
and their colors begin to glow high, and drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I have traveled the world over, but never found a peace that comes from watching my fishes as they swim about their home. My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone while the fishes are in my home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Well, good night, all. Delighted to be with you. A wonderful evening. With Father Fish and Dina. And there's so many good things. Love you all. Bye for now.